Alright, imagine this. You're out and about, you've got your phone in one pocket and your laptop waiting at home. But then there's this other little powerhouse you can fit right into your hand. Not quite a phone, definitely not a laptop, and it might just replace both in some ways. This is the iPad mini 7, and after a week with it, I gotta say, it made me rethink what a tablet should be. Today, I'm diving deep into why this tiny device could be the ultimate tech sidekick that you didn't know you needed. I'm talking about reading, gaming, and even filming. This thing is the Swiss Army knife of tech. So let's get into it.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall.
Alright, so first impressions, this is the 7th generation of the iPad mini. Apple took everything we loved about the last generation and added a few tweaks, mainly to the performance. You know, the if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of mentality, which I kind of respect. Let's talk about the design first. The iPad mini 7 is, well, mini, that's the point, right? This thing is practically pocket-sized, assuming you've got deep pockets. It's rocking an 8.3-inch Liquid Retina display, which is Apple's way of saying, we've put a lot of pixels in here, so you'll be happy. But my preference would have been an OLED panel over an LCD screen, but nonetheless, this display is vibrant, it's bright, and those colors just pop. Watching content on this thing is a great experience. It sort of feels like you're holding a mini TV screen. It's got these same aluminum chassis we're used to, sleek and sturdy. It's lightweight, but it doesn't feel cheap. You know that feeling you get when you're holding something and you just know that it's well made? That's exactly what you get with the iPad mini 7. Plus, it's got that nice flat design that I personally love. It's easier to grip and makes it feel more stable in the hands. Alright, let's talk about the display a little bit more. It is 8.3 inches, which sounds small, but it's kind of the perfect size for like casual use. You can use it one-handed if you need to, and reading on this thing feels natural. Reading articles, books, and even documents, it's like holding a slightly oversized Kindle with a much better screen. Oh, and the brightness, it's decent for most situations, even outdoors. Apple's got this thing where they don't go crazy with the brightness levels like some Android devices, but it's still enough. It hits 500 nits, so it's not going to blind you, but you won't struggle to see it in regular lighting either. You're probably not reading outside at high noon anyways, so for most people it's going to be just fine. Now let's talk about the power. The iPad mini 7 has the A17 Pro chip, and that's where things get interesting. Usually these smaller devices get the lesser chip, right? But Apple went ahead and threw in the big guns with this one. The A17 Pro chip isn't here to play. It's the same powerhouse you find in the iPhone 15 Pro. This thing can fly. I've tested a bunch of stuff, gaming, multitasking, photo editing, and honestly it handles everything like a champ. I mean, I was expecting it to maybe stutter or even heat up under heavy loads, but no, it held up steady. If you're like me and you do a lot on your tablet, you're going to appreciate this level of power. So let's get into how the iPad mini 7 fits into my everyday life, because that's the real question, right? Is this thing just cute, or does it actually pull its weight? Spoiler alert, it definitely pulls its weight. If you're into reading, whether it's ebooks, articles, or even long Reddit threads like me, the iPad mini 7 is awesome. And it's small enough to comfortably hold and big enough that you're not constantly squinting at the screen. I've spent some time reading, and honestly it's almost like holding a physical book. And for note takers, the Apple Pencil Pro's compatibility is a game changer. Jotting down quick notes or making annotations on PDFs feels intuitive and responsive. The Apple Pencil just snaps on magnetically to the side of the iPad, which is pretty slick. Streaming, this is where things get fun. Whether it's Netflix, YouTube, or even TikTok, the iPad mini 7 is ideal for media consumption. The display is crisp, colors pop, and those speakers, surprisingly loud for a small device. You wouldn't think it, but the audio quality is pretty solid. You get this immersive experience without needing to plug in headphones every single time. Alright, for my gamers out there, yes, you can game on this thing. I've loaded some pretty heavy graphic intense games, and it didn't miss a beat. No lag, no overheating, just smooth gameplay. The A17 Pro chip handles it all with ease. The iPad mini 7 is powerful enough for casual gamers and even some more intense games. Specifically for games like Genshin Impact, it's been pretty amazing. You're not going to replace a laptop with this, let's be real. But for quick work tasks like emails, document editing, managing a calendar, it's perfect. It's not something I use for hardcore spreadsheet editing, but for checking and replying to emails or writing a quick note, it's great. Plus, it feels faster and more responsive than even some laptops I've tested, thanks to that A17 Pro chip, which is just mind-blowing. If you're traveling, this thing's got your back. It's small enough to fit into almost any bag and light enough that you won't notice it, and has all the entertainment and productivity you need on the go. Maps, check. Offline Netflix episodes, check. It's basically your ultimate travel buddy that won't weigh you down. Now, here's something that's probably not on the standard list of use cases, but has been a game changer for me. Using the iPad mini 7 as a camera viewfinder. Hear me out. If you're like me and you do a lot of your own filming, you know just how challenging it can be to nail those shots when you're working solo. And that's where this iPad comes in clutch. I connect my Canon camera to the iPad mini 7 and use it as a monitor. With that 8.3-inch screen, it gives me a crystal view of what the camera is seeing. It's like having a mini director's monitor right there on set, but in my studio, it's just me. So having that bigger screen lets me frame my shots perfectly, check focus, and even monitor exposure all in real time. It's perfect for those crisp, clean shots you see in my videos. This is one of those hidden features that's worth every penny. If you're a filmmaker or a content creator, it's such a versatile little device. Alright, let's talk about something that can really change the game for anybody using their iPad, especially if you're a creator, designer, or someone who loves to just take notes. It's called Paperlike. Now, if you've ever tried writing or drawing on your iPad with the Apple Pencil, you probably notice that it feels a little bit too slippery, right? This is where Paperlike comes in. This screen protector makes your iPad feel like you're writing or drawing on real paper, which for me is a game changer. Paperlike uses this super innovative technology called nanodots, tiny microbeads that give you just enough resistance, kind of like the texture of high-end art paper. So whether you're sketching, taking notes, or marking up documents, the precision and the control you get with the Apple Pencil on Paperlike is next level. And don't worry, it's designed to be gentle on your Apple Pencil's tip as well, so no worries about that extra wear and tear. And here's the kicker. It doesn't mess up your screen quality. You still get that crisp, clear display with minimal glare. So you're not sacrificing anything in terms of visuals. Plus it's ultra thin, only 0.12 millimeters thick, so you can barely tell that it's there, except for that perfect paper feel. If you're serious about your digital workflow, this thing is a must-have. Millions of creators around the world are already using it to elevate their game. Whether you're an artist, a student, or just someone who likes taking notes, the Paperlike screen protector will make you love using your iPad even more. You can grab yours by using my link in the description below, and they've got a 100-day satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't love it, they'll make it right, no questions asked. Trust me though, once you get it, you'll never go back to the glass screen alone. Battery life on the iPad mini 7, pretty solid. With moderate use, I was able to get through a full day easily. I was browsing, watching YouTube, reading, and even did some light gaming. And I was still good to go by the evening. If you're really pushing it with gaming and heavy video streaming, you'll probably need to plug it in at some point. But for most people, one charge will last you a full day. Cameras. You're not buying this for the cameras, but they are decent enough. The front-facing camera supports center stage, which is pretty cool if you do a lot of video calls. It keeps you centered in the frame even if you move around a bit, so you don't have to worry about adjusting it all the time. The rear camera is fine for quick photos and scanning documents, but it's not replacing your phone's camera anytime soon. One of these standout features here is the Apple Pencil Pro's compatibility. I've always been a fan of the Apple Pencil, and this generation is no different. It's responsive, accurate, and has that natural feel to it. If you're an artist, a student, or just someone who likes to doodle a lot, this thing is a must-have. You can sketch, take notes, and it just feels right. And it does charge magnetically, so you don't have to worry about it running out of juice at the worst possible time. Now, no device is perfect, right? The iPad mini 7 is great, but there are a couple of things I wish were different. First, there's no Face ID. It's 2024 and I feel like Face ID should be the standard by now. Instead, we've got Touch ID in the power button. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but if you're used to Face ID, it's kind of a bummer. Another thing is the price. The Mini 7 is not cheap. With all the upgrades, it's a premium product with a premium price tag. For someone who wants a compact device with the latest performance, it's worth it. But if you're just looking for a casual tablet to stream and browse, and size doesn't really matter to you, then there are cheaper options out there. Alright, so where does the iPad mini 7 land? After a week of use, I'm a fan. It's small but powerful, lightweight but sturdy. Apple took a device that already had a solid fan base and added some serious upgrades to it. The A17 Pro chip means you're getting a desktop level performance in a mini package. Whether you're reading, gaming, working, or just browsing, it handles everything like a champ. If you are someone who's looking for a compact, powerful tablet that you can take everywhere, the iPad mini 7 is hard to beat. It's not going to replace your laptop, but as a secondary device, it's perfect. For students, artists, casual gamers, or anyone who just wants a device that can do a little bit of everything, the iPad mini 7 gets my seal of approval. So that's been my take after a week. I hope this video helped you guys if you're considering picking one up. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of the iPad mini 7? Is it worth the price? And are you excited about these updates? Of course, hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe for a lot more tech content. And if you made it to the end of this video, drop a dolphin emoji down in the comments below. I would love to know who my true supporters are. I'll catch you guys all in the next one, and don't forget to flex with your tech.